You like what you've heard so far? Diverse enough for you? It gets better, ladies and gentlemen. The next poet to the mic, I believe, is 1/3 or 1/4 of the original Panhandler Poetry magazine. This young gentleman, funny as hell. Every time he comes up with something, it's astounding. Ladies and gentlemen, you'll hear me say that a lot. A lot of poets are astounding. Ladies and gentlemen, please already give it up for Mr. Chris Wise.
There's one thing I know everybody in this room has in common, besides being confident and incredibly sexy, is that we know life is not all champagne and popcorn, Star Trek and hardcore. We know what it's like being on the fat side of the knife, the waist side of the line, being picked dead last in line. So I know you relate to this. I call it shipwreck. It didn't feel good calling to a man for his trash. But when I saw good furniture dragged to the dumpster, I had to holler for him to stop. I'd been sleeping on a dune of dirty clothes and the carpet burns were blistering. For a while, I'd stepped up, had an air mattress, but it was deflating and the plastic couldn't be hot. So from my balcony, I hailed him just before he flipped the mattress in. He said he was getting married, bought a whole new bedroom suit. I ran down like a Bedouin might run to an oasis, and greedily I snatched up the bed with its little metal frame and wheels, a corner table, alarm clock, 2-gallon fish tank, end table, night table, 2 plastic lawn chairs with seat cushions, and a bookshelf split and cracked from holding flower pots outside. Things I could have never afforded. By myself, I wrestled them thumping, heading up the stairs and put them away inside. With one eye wide, the other squinted, I watched cautiously so no one would come take my treasure while I was putting the other away. I laughed madly, split my dry lips, touching and retouching my new things, scrubbing my hands all over them, getting to know every curve and scratch. The bed was loud, popped, crunched. Came with some very old brown sheets. I filled my tortured shelf with stacks of books, set my empty fish tank on the end table, put one chair outside for watching the moon rise, and the other inside for watching pages of text, and a cushion on the sea beach. I perched the alarm clock on the wobbly nightstand so I could see it glowing through the thick blackness of dark hours, and stretched out on the queen-size mattress, drinking in this feeling of wealth. Peering down with burning eyes at the rag bed where I'd languished, I spat and then ran into the living room to see it just one more time. Now there's not much worse than having a bad boss. They remind you every day that your career is the headstone where your dreams used to be. Work itself is a 4-letter word that ends in K. And that's about right. The great claw of God. My supervisor is an obese divorcee who oils herself, dresses and sugars herself, and bakes her nails with lips that glow and hair coiffured like she's a princess baby that must never be shaken. She earns about $60,000 a year, yet just bought a candy red Camaro and a $275,000 home, alone, trying to fill the crater her husband left. She recently saw a supermodel put a black smear stripe on her eyes, so she does too, and now I work for the Hamburglar. Lumbering up and down the halls like the Snuffleupagus, modeling her wardrobe with designer seconds, sweatshop knockoffs. With a fake smile her therapist told her to wear, like a piss-riddled security blanket. She's awful mighty with her company pen, filling out my disciplinary forms, which she hotly fills my file with, pulling me off my work to abuse her power, putting in a cavity in her life with all the savory hurt she causes. And at the end of things, when she finally realizes that all the miscreants who work beneath her despise her with every ounce of their bodies, she probably lays in a mud bath, cucumbers on her eyes like a hog in his wallow, wondering how she was so cursed to land a cruise so degeneratively, while it's all meet in secret, cursing her, folding hands in prayer that the great claw of God will sweep her beneath the sod to liquefy and feed the earth, the first positive thing she's ever done and all in the hell she's good for. You can't kill them whole, you know. Thank you, I'm Chris Biden.
Keep that applause going for Mr. Chris Biden.